Hello and welcome back to Art Therapy with Jen. Today I'm working in my Dark Dystopian themed magazine collage art journal, and we're doing chapter 10 today. Now if this is your first time tuning in to this series on my channel, what I'm doing is a Dark Dystopian themed in this particular collage art journal, and each week I do a new page or a new chapter exploring into this world or theme a little bit. So this is a exercise with images as much as just kind of putting a story together and see what is being revealed to us. So I'll have a playlist linked in an iCard as well as down below if you'd like to see the previous chapters. And we're just gonna get into it. So as usual, I'm starting with getting my background set down. I have all these magazine images that I have set around my desk that I just felt like needed to go on this page, and I just kind of intuitively pick them up and just start building up a background, a base, a color story, whatever you want to call it for this particular page. And I just rip edges, I cut edges, I turn images whichever way I feel like turning them, and just get them on there and have a good old, or in this case dark time. Now for this page, it is a lot of grays and gloomy tones, images of debris, wreckage, urban type landscapes, fire. I think we're going to be getting an insight into this mysterious kind of dark authoritarian presence that has been hinted at in our stories. So I think we're going to get some more information on them, maybe a snapshot of who they are or what they've done. As always in this journal, I keep being drawn to show fire images and just these deeper tones, and I'm interested to see what is going to be revealed to us. See there, I don't care which way images are, oriented or orientated, however you want to say that. I just went ahead and turned that city upside down, or maybe that alludes to kind of what happened. The city got turned upside down. Now let's take a look at our background that we're starting with here. I just really love it. One of these days I'm going to do a book of just backgrounds. Or maybe, I think I see a lot of people call them like master boards and stuff now. I don't know. I'm not up with the terms, but I have a lot of fun with it. So now that I got my background in place, I'm going to be placing two focal images on this particular chapter. So this first image here that I'm gluing down, it's these hands that I can't figure out if they're trying to grab onto one another and they just missed, or if they're letting go. Y'all tell me what you think. Is it a splitting up, or is it a trying to come together? Or is it just mistiming? I don't know. Something slipping through the fingers? You tell me. And then I have this snake or serpent, or I don't know the correct animal terminology, but that I have fussy cut out. And I had to be extremely careful. This is one of those thinner magazines, and I was just sitting there in my head going, don't rip it, don't rip it, don't rip it. So being very gingerly with it. And to me, this came out as this is the symbol of this regime, the bad guys, whatever you want to call them, those that took power and are in charge and brought about these dark times. Their symbol, I'm figuring out, we have the fire, we have the metal, and now we have the snake. And the snake, I found it, I can't remember, I want to think it was in like a fishing magazine or a garden and gun or something like that. And it just has these gold and red fiery tones. So I went ahead and placed that down, and we can kind of see some of that symbolism there. So I'm thinking this is kind of going back to the past when this entity decided to overtly take over. As always, I'm curious what y'all think, but let's put some words down and let's see what else they're going to tell us. I just go through my big old word bin and I pull out a bunch of words and I set them around and I just kind of pick from them, Frankenstein some together and just see what we come up with. So starting at the top left, I have the damage, and then I have to crack you wide open. And sometimes I take a little bit of a pause because I literally just lay these words out on my desk and I just kind of think in my head, I just kind of pick them that way. But I found the word authority, so I put that overlaying the snake there. So it's definitely telling us this is their symbol of, complete power there. And then on the bottom left, I'm going to be putting down taking the reins. So we saw in chapter 1, we saw this destruction that happened. And I think that has a lot to do with this entity coming into power. Because when you destroy one place, where are you going to go? Then we have up top, we have troubled times. And then I'm going to be putting down apocalypse. So not good and cheery stuff has happened in the past, for sure. And then I'm going to be putting two separate pieces together toward the middle of the page, overlaying the hands. That says horrifying fear. And again, I'm curious what y'all think, but I'm almost getting the vibe that, we've been seeing these different methods they use for influence. We've been seeing, all these tricks that they use, and then we get flowers a lot, and it almost makes me think that there was a place that this, bad entity discovered something very valuable there. Maybe it had something to do with the flowers. And they slowly exploited that, and then they brought about this destruction so that those that were left, they were either gone or they had to rely on those that they may not even know caused the destruction of the place that they had. So then we have led to one thing, and then we're going to finish up on the bottom right, hell. So I've always been getting the vibe that this, a totalitarian, is that how you say it? I'm a reader, y'all, so a lot of times I know words, but then I have to think how to pronounce them sometimes. Plus, where I live, I don't know if y'all have noticed, we got a bit of an accent. Well, I think we speak normally. I think everyone else has a bit of an accent, but, I'm biased in that way. But I think it's, now I can't even remember what I'm saying, Lord have mercy. But I think this this entity that took over, they're very clever. They did not just come in, I think, and cause this, destruction immediately. They were smart about it, and it wasn't until they were kind of at the end of this cycle, probably a business cycle on their part, did they just go ahead and overtly destroy anything that's left. And perhaps that was to take resources out of anyone else's hands. Perhaps that was to prevent anyone who actually saw what was truly going on from relaying that information. It seems like this group, they do a lot of brainwashing. They do a lot of, we see kind of tricking people, thinking that they're doing one thing and in fact they're doing another behind the scenes, through this false sense of self-improvement or giving people opportunities. And really, they're just doing it all to benefit them. So, I don't know, I'm kind of getting that vibe from it. This definitely something huge happened, and I'm curious to know more. But definitely the symbol of our, bad side is the serpent and fire. So perhaps the hands were the splitting up of families, perhaps, or things slipping away. An entity that came in that was supposed to be improving things, or helping the town utilize these resources that they didn't realize they have. And really, all they were doing was taking those resources, exploiting them, and then kind of getting rid of them when they were done, if that makes sense. Y'all know I like to just run along with stories in my head. It's one thing I just really enjoy about doing this type of journal. I'm curious to hear what y'all think. Y'all have given me such wonderful ideas and kind of made me rethink certain pages. There is no right or wrong answers. Everybody comes from a different viewpoint. Everybody's going to see something differently. And I'm still going back and forth on the girl we keep seeing in our pictures. I originally thought she was a good guy, but now I'm kind of leaning toward that she might not be as good as she appears. I'm very interested to see. But I can't believe that we've already done 10 chapters in this book. Oh my goodness. And while I've been talking, y'all, I've just been putting some Sharpie details, some thinner permanent marker details, and then just some white gel pen on top of that, just to kind of differentiate some things on the page and make them stand out. But here is the finished chapter 10. What should I call it, y'all? Troubled times? Ooh, authority, maybe. I think I might call it authority, because that's kind of a bad word to me anyway. I'm a little bit redneck that way. But yeah, that's been chapter 10. Kind of had a different turn on it. We didn't have any, faces of characters or anything, but definitely we kind of get this insight into the moment where this group exerted their authority and took over and perhaps brought about this apocalypse, or as the page says, hell, for the people that were there before. But again, thank y'all so much for watching and supporting this little series of mine. I'm having a ball with it. We're getting close to being halfway through this book already, which is blowing my mind. So again, thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all next week for chapter 11. Bye, guys.